What up, everybody? It's your boy Zach the King up in this motherfucker, man. And today, as you can see in the title and in the picture, they finally have caught the person of interest, or, I'm not going to just say that the nigga's guilty or nothing like that, but they finally have a suspect in the Amanda Gonzalez murder case. Now, I know this is probably going to go over 100,000 people's, million people's head because this shit happened over 20 years ago, maybe like 22 years ago, right? And I know y'all probably wondering, like, Zach, why would you even care? This shit is crazy. This is a crazy, crazy story. So you might want to listen to this shit, right? So back in 2001, when I was stationed in Germany, there was a case involving a murder of Amanda Gonzalez, the girl that's pictured in the picture. She was killed in her barracks room, and she happened to be like 4 months pregnant. Now, we were on a small base, you know what I mean? And that story circulated the whole little town, the whole base, the whole military community. Like everybody in the army from every single town was on this shit, right? So it was a very big story back then, you know what I mean? And it's a little closer to home for me because of what I'm gonna get into in this video. But yeah, so basically she was killed. I believe they said that it was by like strangulation or something like that. And anyways, they found her dead. Now the main suspect that, even we all thought it was the person that she was rumored to be dealing with at the time, which was like a sergeant first class, but he was married, you know what I mean? And he had already had kids. So, that was the rumor, like, hey, he might have did this shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't never know what that dude ever looked like. I heard that they held him until they couldn't really hold him no more or have any evidence on him, and he PCS to Hawaii, if I'm not mistaken. That's what the rumors was. You know what I mean? So anyway, so let's bring it all back. So I went to AIT with Amanda. Now, AIT is Advanced Individual Training. We're all part of like quartermasters. She was like a cook or something like that, and I was in supply. So I used to see her all the time, and I would chit chat with her all the time. You know what I mean? Nothing major, nothing. Of course, I was a little young nigga, so I was trying to holler at her in a roundabout way, but not to the point where I was really on her because I ended up meeting the person who I married, and that was that. But fast forward, we got stationed in Germany. She was there, so I used to see her all the time there, and she recognized me from AIT, right? So when I would see her, I would say hi to her, I would speak to her. But there was always this one dude, little short black cat, you know what I'm saying, who would be with her, and he just did not like my presence at all. I mean, he probably knew that, I was being a little too friendly with her because, back when I was that age, I was on everything walking and talking, you know what I'm saying? If she looked good and this girl looked good, like that was kind of like my type, Mexican girl with short hair. I ended up marrying same type of female, you know what I mean? But anyways, man, so, I used to see her all the time. I used to try to, kick it at her every now and then. But I remember it was 2 incidents, right? So the first incident was in the chow hall one day. I went and, I'm getting some shit from a little salad bar, and I'm talking to her. I'm like, hey, what's up, man? What you got going this weekend? She's like, oh, they got me on duty this weekend. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And then, like, before anything could happen, this fool is just like right there, like hella mean mugging. Now, mind you, he never would say nothing, though. He would just be mean mugging like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? The little short black dude that was always with her. And I used to think that was her boyfriend. You feel me? And I think they probably did have something going on because he was very territorial about her. Another time we were walking down, she was walking from her barracks and I'm walking probably towards my barracks. And I see her and I'm like, hey, what's up? How you doing? And he snatched her up and just kept on walking. I'm like, bro, what's wrong with this nigga? Like, whatever, you feel me? So anyways, right? So those are just two like little incidents, but he would always be on her, you know what I mean? So anyways, bro, and the only person I've ever told about this story is my bro D, and maybe like one other person, maybe like Crenning or somebody. And there's a reason behind this, you know what I'm saying? And the reason behind this that I never told anybody this story is because, but you can ask D, because I told him this story back when this shit first happened. You know what I mean? He was there that night at the club. You know what I mean? But when I was younger, I was a little knucklehead. You know, as you can flip through some of I mean, I got hella stories that I haven't told yet. But if you flip through, you know, some of my videos, you'll see the time that the bitch tried to get me caught up in the shit. You know what I'm saying? But it ended up being some false shit. I told that story before. But, you know, so with that being said, if you watch that story, you'll see how like I was hella cautious about getting myself in trouble in a situation to where I could be looked at, you know, on some like, I guess you could say suspect kind of shit or anything like that. You know what I mean? And plus I had a chick, so it would have put me in an awkward ass situation to tell this story, you know what I mean? Being that I was supposed to be at that place at that time anyway. You feel me? So anyways, man. So, you know, what I'm guessing was the night of her murder. I went out to the club like we always do. Me, D, Mikey, everybody was at the club. And I seen this same girl, Amanda, at the club that night. Now, mind you, I never used to see her at the club. You know what I'm saying? I never used to see her at the club. And when I did see her around base and shit, she would always be with this little short, angry ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? So when I seen her, I was on her. You know what I mean? I'm drunk. I'm like, hey, what's cracking? I'm not like twisted, but I'm feeling myself. But I'm like, hey, what's up? You know what I mean? And she's like, hey, what's up? You know? And I probably danced with her like maybe like 2 songs maybe. And I'm like, hey, where your boyfriend at? You know what I'm saying? She was like, he's in the field. You know what I'm saying? Now, the dude that she was referencing, come to find out that was in the field, her boyfriend was a sergeant first class. You know what I mean? I was talking about the little short black dude that I used to always see her with because I figured that was her boyfriend. I'm wondering, like, where's the fucking police at? You know what I mean? Like, he the police. He always handcuffing, you know what I'm saying? But she wasn't there with him that night, you know, and the person that she was referring to was the dude, the sergeant first class that everybody was saying that she was rumored to be pregnant by. And that turned out that was his alibi, was that he was in the field. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell y'all some more eerie shit that happened a few years ago too with this. But anyways, so this particular night, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, so what's up? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on? What you doing after the club? She used to always hang out with this black girl. You know what I mean? All I remember about the black girl, it might have been a roommate too, is that she used to wear like crochet braids or something in her hair. But anyway, she was with that girl that night. And, you know, I couldn't, like I said, I chopped it up with her maybe about like 10 minutes, kind of danced on her a little bit, you know what I mean, for maybe like 1 or 2 songs. You know what I'm saying? It was, the encounter was very, very brief. It wasn't like we was talking the whole night in the club or nothing like that, you know what I'm saying? Because I think the girl had ended up coming to get her anyway. So the black girl that I'm referencing, right? So I'm like, what's up? What you got going on later? She's like, shit, nothing. Like, come up to the barracks room, you know? And like, if you remember back then, anybody who ever watches this story, like they used, like their room was kind of like a party room from what I used to hear. I never been up there before prior, you know what I mean? So, but that's just what I used to hear. Like they used to kick it hella hard in their room. But anyways, so she was like, yeah, come up to the room. So I'm like, all right. But I didn't know what room she stayed in. You know what I'm saying? I knew what barracks she stayed in. I knew what floor she stayed in, but I didn't know the exact room. You know what I'm saying? So I remember, you know what I mean? The whole night, the rest of the night went on. But I remember going back to the barracks, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, shit, I'm about to go see what's up with old girl, you know what I mean? Like, she told me it was cool to come through. So I remember being hella drunk. I remember this, like, this is a true ass story. And I went up to her barracks, you know what I'm saying? And I remember, I must have came earlier than everybody else because nobody was like in there. There wasn't nobody hanging out or nothing. You know what I mean? And usually we would stay at the club till like 6 something in the morning. But on this night, it was maybe like 2 o'clock in the morning or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't even really remember, but I know it was earlier than what we usually would come. So I remember walking in the barracks and I'm like, shit, I don't even know what room she stays in. Cause they didn't have like no names or nothing, you know what I mean? Like such and such is assigned to this room or nothing like that. And I had never been in those barracks before, you know what I mean? I just knew that she stayed in those barracks and she stayed on the 3rd floor. So I'm walking around, and I remember walking in the bathroom and I was splashing water on my face because I'm hella drunk, you know what I'm saying? But finally, I'm about to go and I'm about to turn a knob, like, you know, knock on the door, and I'm like, man, you know what, fuck this. Let me get up out of here before somebody sees me and my ass gets in trouble. I'm not supposed to be up in here. I already done been in trouble for this kind of shit before, prior, you know what I'm saying? If you go back and watch that story, you know what I mean, how the bitch tried to set me up. So I was like, you know what, I'm drunk. This is like a bad, my conscience kicked in. I was like, this is a bad idea right here. Like, I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time. So I bounced, right? So I swear to God on my mother's life, this is what happened. Soon as I walked out the door, right, to go back to my barracks from the 3rd floor, and I opened the door, the black nigga was waiting right there outside the fucking door. The nigga that, you know what I'm saying, that I said was always walking with her, that was angry, just coincidentally was there. You know what I mean? Because you have to come down the stairs to walk out the little outdoor, like towards what would have been like the shopette area, you know what I mean? Or whatever was right there. But as soon as I opened the door and I walked out, that nigga was standing right there. If looks could kill, he would have killed me. You know what I'm saying? With the look on his face. You know what I mean? And I know that when I looked at him, I know he recognized me from those other times that, you know, he was like, get away from my bitch. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, nobody was upstairs. Nobody came out their rooms, nothing. You know what I mean? So I just called it like, this is a fluke mission, and I bounced. You know what I mean? Plus, I was like, I ain't finna get in trouble over no shit that ain't mine. I don't even know what room number she in. I'm just over here on some drunk shit. So, but like I said, when I left the barracks that night, out that side door, I guess you could call it, that nigga was standing right there with the meanest fucking look on his face. He didn't say nothing to me at all. I just looked at him and I was like, what's up, bro? And I went on to my barracks room and went to sleep, and that was that. You know what I'm saying? Now, come Monday, you know what I'm saying? Come Monday, me and D are walking back to my barracks from the company, or we might have been walking to the shopette, you know, because you used to have to walk to the company, but before you get to the barracks, it's like a split. Like you can either go right to go to the shopette, or you can go like up and a little bit to get to my barracks. I stayed in the middle barracks, and she stayed like 2 barracks over at the very end. You know what I mean? So right when we walking around lunchtime, they had everything taped off. You know what I mean? We like, what the fuck is going on? You know what I mean? Like somebody got killed or something? You know what I'm saying? We was like, damn, what's going on? You know what I mean? They was like, yeah, somebody died or something. So we was like, damn, what happened? You know what I mean? We didn't know what the fuck went on. Come to find out, that was her. She had gotten killed. That I'm thinking it was that same night, and I'm thinking it was that same nigga who I seen when I walked out. I'm thinking that he waited on her. And this has always been my theory. I don't know, you know what I'm saying, if it's true or false. But this is just my theory based on the interactions that I've seen him have before and just the circumstances, you know what I mean? Because like I said, it was rumored that she was pregnant by another sergeant first class This nigga was like an E4. The person I'm talking about in reference to, I don't remember his last name. I don't even know if it's the dude in the picture. But I know if I seen an old army picture of this short black dude, I could probably say, yeah, that's the nigga that I remember. But it's been 20 something years. I don't know if that dude grew up into this dude right here. You know what I mean? That's in the other picture. So I can't put that on him. You know what I mean? But he looks like an angry nigga that would be, you know, the person that I'm in reference to. You know, I don't even look the same as what I did then. You know what I mean? But I definitely remember that same night. It was so coincidental that same night that when I came out the building, and like I said, I never seen her go to the club before. I never seen her go to the club before. So maybe this nigga was waiting, the short angry nigga who I'm referencing. Like I said, I don't know if it's this nigga, but the short angry nigga that I'm referencing was waiting on her, like, cause he knew something was odd if she was gone. You know what I mean? And that shit used to always like bother me, like, damn, like hella scenarios, like, damn, what if I could have stopped that? Or what if I did see her and this nigga came knocking on her door? What would have happened? Like, what if somebody would have seen me up there and just reported me up there or something like that, and they called me in for questioning or something? Like, so much shit used to just make me wonder, and that shit bothered me with that case for a long time because it was unsolved, and I used to, and I held on to that information for so long, like, you know what I mean, until, like I'm saying now, like, because I didn't want to get myself involved in that shit. I didn't want to get myself in trouble by my first sergeant and my commander saying, what the fuck was you even doing there at that time? You know what I mean? Like, you're in trouble again now. You know what I mean? Like, nah, I didn't, you know, because I was staying in the barracks at that time because me and my wife was split up because we kept fighting and shit all the time. You know what I mean? But I didn't want to put myself in that situation. I asked D, like, when we finally came out with the shit, I told him the story, like, hey, bro, you remember I told you I was supposed to go meet up with old girl? And he was like, yeah, whatever happened with that? I'm like, nigga, when I walked out, I seen that nigga. And he remembers the nigga who I'm talking about too. You know what I mean? So we used to always talk about this shit like, damn, bro, like, this is crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we thought, like, that nigga killed her. Like, you know what I mean? Like, something must have happened when she got home, or he must have waited on her. Like, who knows what happened? But I always thought that it was that nigga. And after that night, I never seen that dude again around post or nothing. Like, I never seen the short little angry black dude ever again. You know what I'm saying? And it was just way coincidental. Like I said, I don't even remember I think it was a Mexican dude that they said was the sergeant first class that she was having an affair with, right? But what's crazy about that, right, is that I felt like I met this sergeant first class that she was having an affair with, you know what I mean, as my Lyft driver in Hawaii like a few years back. Because when I got in the car, you know, and we driving to work, we talking, you know, he's like, hey, are you military? I'm like, no, I used to be. He's like, yeah, I used to be too. I was stationed in Germany. I'm like, oh, okay. And I was like, shit, where at? And he was like, and he told me the same spot. I'm like, what year? He told me the same year. I'm like, damn, me too. You know what I'm saying? He's like, yeah. And then all of a sudden he was just like, hey man, do you remember that case about the girl who got killed? And I'm just thinking like, yeah, like, okay, you know, like how ironic you talking about this, you know what I'm saying? But he started like going on with more and more information more information that I didn't even know. And he was coming up with alibis like, yeah, they think the sergeant first class hopped on a train in the middle of the night and went and killed her. And bruh, put it like this, by the time I got out the Uber, I felt like hella eerie, like this might be the nigga who did this shit, you know what I'm saying? But I never told him, I didn't say anything about me going up to the barracks room or nothing like that night, you know what I mean? But that nigga had more information about the shit than I did. But, you know, it could be because he was probably in the same unit and he heard way more, you know what I mean? Like I said, like I lived there for years and years after that, and the story kind of drifted away. More shit happened, you know what I mean? Like a bitch killed her kids and walked to the gate. Like, that's a whole nother story. You know, we'll do an update on that. Where's she at now? Because that was just one of the cases, you know, Amanda Gonzalez case. But anyways, but yeah, he was telling me way more information about it. It put it like this. It made me feel so eerie that I reached out to one of the girlfriends and I was like, hey, like, you know, bruh, I took a picture of his Uber picture, like, hey, do you recognize this dude? Her name was Shauna Steele, a white girl, you know what I'm saying? That I know that used to be her friend. I was like, hey, do you recognize him? Because this nigga had way too much info about this case. Like, do you recognize him? She was like, nah, I don't recognize him. I was like, oh, okay. But she was like, man, but after I told her what all, he was talking about, she was like, yeah, maybe you should reach out to her mom or her sister or something. Maybe they might be able to put it together. So I reached out to her sister or her mom, or I forget, it's been a couple years. But anyways, nigga, I remember the FBI called my phone, bro, just like out the blue. And I don't even remember giving her mom or her sister my phone number. I was just like, hey, I might got some information about your sister's case, maybe some details about it that you guys might not know from somebody who's telling me, the Uber, what the Lyft driver was. I don't know if it might be helpful, maybe it's not, if you can contact me. But I don't remember giving them my contact info, just like hit me back on the Facebook or something. Brother, FBI called my phone, right? And was like, yeah, we heard that you got some information. I'm like, who the fuck is this? I remember I was on my lunch break. They like, yeah, we heard you got some information about this case. And I'm like, bro, I don't got no information about nothing. I don't know what the hell you talking about. Bro, this motherfucker was taking like a real threatening tone with me. Like, do I got to fly out to Hawaii and come talk to you and find you? And I'm like, bro, do what you got to do. I remember telling the FBI agent that same shit. Like, bro, do what the fuck you got to do. Like, I'll see you when I see you. But I'm just like, damn, I kind of felt like some type of way, like, damn, why would they do that instead of just asking me like, hey, well, what is it? You know what I mean? Instead, they went straight to the FBI, which I ain't even mad about because that's somebody's family member that passed and they've been looking for closure for hella years. They don't know me from a can of paint. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't never mad at the family for that. But I was just like, why is this FBI agent calling my phone with this aggressive ass tone? So I'm just like, whatever, bro. I ended up hanging up on that fool. But anyways, and nothing never came of that shit. But anyways, man, it's just real eerie, like, that they finally caught this, suspect. But I just can't remember if that is the same dude that I remember always, being aggressive, not aggressive, but always like being angry and mean, like, as anybody would if somebody was trying to talk to your girl or flirt with your girl or be too friendly with your girl. We was all like 18, 19 years old at the time, you know what I mean? But I swear to God, on my mother's life, on my kid's life, when I came out that barracks door, the same dude I'm talking about was standing right there. You know what I'm saying? And it's so coincidental that that was the same night that she was killed. You know what I mean? And that shit just like kind of like bothered me for a long time because I didn't want to say anything like, hey, y'all might want to look at this dude because he was there and I was up there that night. And when I came out, he was standing right there and all of a sudden she ends up dead. Like, nah, I don't want to put myself in that mix or nothing at all. You know what I mean? Like, and if you understood how much my unit used to fuck with me back in the days and how much trouble I would have probably been in, they would have found some reason to get me in trouble. Like, y'all probably understand like why I didn't want to involve myself in that shit, but it used to bother me like a lot. Like, damn, like what if, you know what I mean? Like, who knows? Like, who knows what could happen? Especially, but what made me not think about the black dude was that the rumor was that the Sergeant First Class might have did the shit. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't know what to think. All I know is this dude was a specialist that I seen, and he was a short black dude. And I don't even remember what his name was or anything. So I can't say it's this dude right here that's in the picture that they've caught. But I remember it was a short dude and he was black and he used to always mean mug. You know what I'm saying? And he was an angry little bastard. And yeah, man, RIP to Amanda Gonzalez. I hope that your family has some closure now. The details hasn't come out of, you know, how this dude was caught or anything like that. But I've read in Facebook groups, you know, that I'm a part of from Germany, that this dude was actually a person that was in their unit or something like that. But I want to see the picture of this dude when he was in the army, because I can pretty much pinpoint like if that was the same dude who I was thinking of. But yeah, man, like this is the only other time besides when I used to tell D, and I might have told maybe one other person who both advised me, don't say shit, bro. Like, hell nah, bro. Do not get yourself caught up in that shit. You know what I mean? But, you know, finally 21, 22 years later, you know, hopefully the case has been resolved, and, you know, rest in peace to Amanda Gonzalez. She didn't deserve that. And it's crazy that she was pregnant. I'm not even sure if she even probably knew that she was pregnant. I don't remember seeing her drink at the club. But like I said, man, it's just a crazy, crazy, eerie case that finally can come to a close. Like, but, you know, I know everybody was always wondering about what happened with that shit because it was unsolved. And usually they can solve some shit in the army, you know what I mean, very quickly. But, you know, hopefully with new technology and, you know, who knows? This fool probably told somebody about the shit and they turned his ass in, but who knows? You know what I mean? But anyways, man, this video's made kind of long, but yeah, man, go look up the case. Amanda Gonzalez, the FBI was in charge of that shit. Like I said, them motherfuckers called my phone. They didn't even calling my phone, and I ain't even give you the number. Remember how Nas said that shit? Yeah, man, that shit was like caught me off guard that day. Like, what? Like, who are you talking to? Like, you talking crazy for somebody who should be trying to, you know, talk cool to somebody, you know what I mean, when you're trying to solve your case. But talking to me crazy, like, nah, bro, that ain't gonna happen. Making threats like you gonna get me locked up and you gotta come out here, like, nah, you know what I mean? But, you know, like I said, man, I always felt a little bit of type of guilt for not telling anybody about what probably could have helped at the time, you know what I mean? But you know, hey, God works in mysterious ways, and you know, it came full circle, you know what I mean? And you know, hopefully Amanda Gonzalez family can finally, you know, have some closure and find some kind of comfort and peace knowing that potentially their daughter's killer has been found and caught. So yeah, RIP. It's your boy Sack the King, and I'm out.